Anywhere you go, you belong. Anywhere you say, anywhere. Join me for an advanced Jess Yoga flow. This 25-minute class will take you through a variety of asanas from intermediate to advanced. A yoga block is recommended for this class. Hello and welcome to Asana with Jess. Starting in a cross-legged position on our mats, rolling the shoulders away from the ears, gazing down or closing the eyes, taking a few resetting breaths here. Warming up the wrists now, placing the hands in front of you. Palms facing down, fingertips turned towards you, extending through those wrists. Warming up for some of our wrist balancing asanas. Lean forward to make this stretch easier, or lean back, sinking into the hips to make this stretch deeper. Intertwining the hands now, taking some rolls through the wrists in circles, and going the other way. Release those hands, draw the hands into the ear, hold onto the left wrist with the right hand, and lean towards the right, stretching down the left side body. Inhale, and on the exhale, come back to center. Regrip, this time left hand holding right wrist, leaning to the left. This time stretching down the right side body. Inhale, exhaling, and coming back to center. Releasing the hands, bringing the soles of the feet together, holding onto those toes with the hands and letting the knees fall out wide for our bound angle pose. Warming up the body, stretching the groin. Focusing on your pranayama, your breath work, sinking a little bit deeper into this pose with each exhale. Release the hands now and come onto all fours in a tabletop position. Keeping the hips in line with the knees, walk the hands out forward. Lift the left hand into the sky and swoop it underneath towards the right, coming onto that left ear. You can either come onto the right fingertips or you can spread that arm out long. For a nice supine twist, warming up those back muscles and increasing the mobility in the spine. you are ready, lift back up into the tabletop position. This time take the right hand into the sky and swoop it under towards the left, coming onto your right side of your face. Once again, you can take the left hand onto its fingertips or you can spread it out long. When you are ready, lift back up and this time lengthen both hands out long, coming onto your forehead for our extended puppy dog pose. Feeling a deep stretch through the upper back, around those shoulder blades. To advance this pose, anchor the elbows and bring the hands into a prayer position behind the head. This should intensify the stretch. One more breath here. Anchor the elbows, gaze forward and push through to Cobra. Lifting yourself up for a nice back bend, gazing towards the ceiling. Anchor the knees, take the knees as wide as the mat, toes together, and press back into a child's pose. Lift the torso up and come onto your feet. Squatting down into our yoga squat. Hands at prayer, using the elbows to press the knees apart, really anchoring the sacrum. Imagining a straight line from the crown of the head to the sacrum. And release, press those hands down onto the mat, step back into a downward dog. Bend one knee at a time to warm up the hamstrings and the calf muscles. Inhale, and on the exhale, press those heels to the mat, drawing the hips into the sky, pressing the shoulders away from the ears. Look towards the top of your mat and take 4 to 6 small steps towards your hands. Coming into a standing forward fold at the top of your mat. Take a moment here to savor the stretch. Press the hands onto the mat if you can, or just hang here. Optional to swing from side to side. Slowly, inch by inch, roll your spine up to standing. Draw the hands to heart center. Inhale to reset. Exhale, draw the hands into the sky. Baby back bend. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Jump back into plank and flow through your chaturanga into upward facing dog. Look over your right shoulder. Come back to center. And look over your left shoulder. Come back to center. Hips to the sky, untucking those toes for downward dog. Shift through to plank, engaging the core. Placing your weight in your right hand, stacking the feet, left arm into the sky for our side plank. Optional to lift that left foot. Re-engage in your regular plank and move to the next side. this time balancing on the left hand, coming onto stacked feet, right arm into the sky, optional to lift that right foot. And returning to center, re-engaging the core and pressing back to downward dog. Gazing forward, bend the knees and jump into a forward fold. Inhale for halfway lift, exhale fold, bend at the knees, draw the hands into the sky and down to Anjali Mudra. Inhale, reset. Exhale, lift the hands into the sky, take a baby back bend, coming into a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, exhale, fold. Step the left foot back, bend the right knee and lift the hands into the sky for crescent lunge. To advance this pose, you can take a bind, bringing the left arm to the right side of that right knee and under, and taking the right arm behind your back, connecting the hands behind you, gazing down towards the right foot to help balance you. Release from the bind, coming back into crescent lunge. Focus on a spot on the floor, press your weight into the right foot and lift the left foot so that it is parallel to the floor. Keeping your torso the same, drawing a T with your body. For Warrior 3. Continue to balance on the right foot and draw the left foot in. Place that foot on the right knee, bending into the hips, hands at heart center, or hands on the mat for a different version of pigeon pose. Feeling this deep stretch through the hips. From whichever version of this pose you are in, slowly lift yourself up. Hold onto the left toes with the right hand and extend the left leg in front of you, bringing the left arm behind you for hand to big toe pose. A lovely hamstring stretch. Release the left foot and place it behind you, back into our crescent lunge. Draw the hands down to the mat and press the right foot back into downward dog. Roll through to plank and take your chaturanga into upward facing dog, gazing over the right shoulder and the left shoulder. Returning to center, pressing the hips to the sky, untucking those toes for downward dog. Bend the knees, gaze forward, jump to the top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, exhale, fold. Bend the knees, draw the hands into the sky and down to heart center. Inhale, reset, exhale, hands into the sky, baby back bend, forward fold, halfway lift, exhale, fold. Step the right foot back this time into a low lunge, bending into that left knee. Draw the hands up into the sky for our crescent lunge. Remembering you can take that bind, bringing the right arm underneath the left knee, drawing the left arm behind you, intertwining hands, gazing down at the left foot. Release the bind, coming back into a crescent lunge. Press your weight into the left foot. Lift the right foot off the mat, making sure the back leg and your torso are parallel to the mat. For our warrior 3 on the other side. Keeping your weight in the left foot, draw the right foot in and place it on top of the left knee. Pressing down through the hips, hands at heart center or on the mat in front of you for our standing pigeon pose. From whichever version of this pose you are in, continuing to stand on that left foot, release the right foot, hold on to it with the left fingers and extend it in front of you, right hand behind you. Draw that foot in and place it back down on the mat behind you for crescent lunge. Draw the hands down to the mat in front of you and step back into downward dog. Step the right foot forward to the middle of your mat, straighten the front leg, pull the right hip back, push the left hip forward, bring the hands to the mat for our pyramid pose. Optional advancement here to take the left hand on a yoga block on the inside of the right foot and lifting the right hand into the sky for a slight twist. And release both hands to the mat, place the yoga block aside, bend back into the right foot and step back into downward dog. This time step the left foot forward, straighten that leg, pull the left hip back, push the right hip forward for pyramid pose on the other side. Once again, it is optional to place the right hand on a yoga block on the inside of the left foot, twisting so that the left arm is up in the sky. And release both hands to the mat, place the yoga block aside, bend back into the left knee and step back into downward dog. Lower the knees to the mat, step the left foot forward for a low lunge, bending into that knee. Bend the right knee and reach around with your left arm to hold onto the right foot. Gazing over the left shoulder for a deep stretch in the quadriceps. Carefully release that foot to the mat. Optional to use a yoga block here, placing it underneath your pelvis. Scoot the right foot back and the left foot forward, pointing the toes, coming into our Hanumanasana, front split. Really squeeze the thighs to get the legs a little bit closer to the mat. A little bit of a bend in the knees is fine if that is where you are at. And shuffle that left foot in, bending back into the right knee, moving the yoga block aside, and stepping the left foot back into a tabletop position. This time step the right foot forward, low lunge, pressing into that knee. Lift the left foot, reach around with your right arm and grab onto that foot, pulling it in towards you for a deep stretch through the quadriceps. Gazing over the right shoulder. Carefully release that foot to the mat. Optional again to take your yoga block beneath your pelvis. Scoot the right foot forward and the left foot back, coming into our Hanumanasana on the other side. Feel free to play around with your yoga block on different heights. Squeezing through the legs and pointing the toes, trying to keep your torso upright. And shimmy the right foot back in, bending into the left knee, moving the yoga block to the side, and stepping the right foot back into a tabletop position. Bring the knees out wide and come onto your feet in a yoga squat once more. Hands at Anjali Mudra, elbows pressing the knees apart. When you are ready, place your hands on the mat in front of you, tuck the knees behind your elbows, and slowly lift your feet off the mat for our crow pose, gazing at the floor in front of you. And controlling your descent, feet back on the mat into that yoga squat. Bring the legs out in front of you, coming onto your sit bones. Slowly lower your torso to the mat, coming onto your back. Make sure your feet are hip width distance apart. Press your hands behind you and lift up into a wheel pose. You are welcome to do a regular bridge if that is within your practice. If you are ready, gently lower yourself to the mat, tucking the knees into the chest and maybe taking some rocks from side to side. Massaging the spine. Release your legs out long. Place your hands at your sides, palms facing up, for the last asana of today's class, a well-deserved Savasana. Relaxing every inch of your body. Noticing how your body feels different to when you started this class today. Start to bring some life back into your body by wiggling the toes and fingers, stretching the arms above the head, tucking the knees into the chest and rolling onto your side. In your own time, make your way up into a seated position. Bring the hands to Anjali Mudra Heart Center. Thank you for practicing this fiery yoga class with me today. Bow down to yourself, sending you love and light. Namaste.